Hey everybody, are you interested in composing melodies but don't know how to start? Well, in today's quick tip, I'm going to show you my 10-step guide on how to compose a melody, choose the chords, and come up with a structure to create beautiful and memorable songs. Are you ready to find out how it's done? Let's begin. Alright, so before we compose a melody and come up with the chords, we need to pick a form and also a style. So for today's example, I chose the form A-A-B-A, which is a very typical song form that you hear in a lot of jazz standards. It's also called the 32-bar song form. The second thing we're going to do is to pick the style. Now we could pick swing, we could pick bossa, ballad, waltz. For this example, we're going to use a jazz ballad. Alright, now that we have the form and we have the style, you can pick a key. Now I chose C major for this. You can also choose a minor key, but step number one is to create a short melodic phrase. So in the key of C major, I chose this phrase. Very simple and melodic and memorable. Then based on that melodic phrase that I just chose, I came up with some chords that would sound nice. So for this first phrase, it sounds like it would be a C major 7 chord because the notes I chose are in the C major 7 chord. And then this note here, G, sounds like a 5 chord, sounds like a G7 chord. So I put a 13 on it with a sus, and then I resolve it to G13. So again, the whole phrase goes like this. Pretty. If you're enjoying today's quick tip, hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more great content just like this. Step number 2 is to repeat the melody that you just did, but change the last part of it and also change the chords of the last part to go to a new tonal center. Let me explain. So in the first part we went to a G7 chord, right? But now our ear is ready to hear something new here. So I chose the melody, changed it a little bit to go da, 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 and also changed the chords to go to D minor, to B minor 7 flat 5, to E7, which is now going to take us to a new tonal center of A minor. Now A minor and C major are related, aren't they? C major going down to A minor is the relative minor of C major. So that's a very typical progression to go from the major to the relative minor. And by the way, if you'd like to download the sheet music and backing track from today's quick tip, click on the link below. Step number 3 is to choose the same rhythm that you did in the very beginning, which is da 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 da. But now that we're in the key of A minor, or this new tonal center, we're going to change the melody to fit the new chords. So we go like this. So notice it's the same rhythm, but I changed the notes to fit the A minor chord. This is an E, which is the 5th, up to the 6th, down to the 3rd, and then here I went to D, and then I also did just a 2-5 in the key of A minor, because it feels like now we're kind of settled into this new minor key. Step number 4 is to create a transition melody and chords that will take us back to the A section, for the second A section in the key of C major. Because remember, we're doing an A-A-B-A form, and so I need to figure out how to get from A minor back to C. And so what I did, first of all, melodically, is we've already heard this rhythm of da 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 3 times. After you hear something 3 times, you're ready for something new. So I changed the rhythm and the notes to sound like this. Notice how also I ended this melody with a question that sounds unresolved because we're going back to the A section. And then I need to figure out, okay, how do I get from this A minor back to the key of C? Here's a cool trick. In the key of C major, A minor is 6. 6 wants to go to 2. So rather than playing a D minor 7, which is usually 2 in the key of C, I made it a D7, which brightens it. And then that brings us nicely to the 5 chord, which is G7, but I also added in that suspended note that then resolves to G7. And that's going to take us back to the second A section. Step number 5 is going to the second ending and changing the melody a little bit from the first ending, but we're really just going to change the last note. Do you remember how in the first ending we went and ended as a question on that D? So now for the second ending, it's nice to do something that is going up, because now we're going to the bridge, and the bridge, there's a movement towards the bridge that wants to get a little bit more emotionally bigger there. And so I chose a G here. But rather than just playing like a 5 chord, we're really kind of looking for a new tonal center. And a great tonal center, whenever you're in a major key, is to go to the 4 chord for the bridge. Now in the key of C major, the 4 chord is F. So what we do, here's a cool trick, is we put a 2 and a 5 of F major. So what is 2 in the key of F major? G minor 7. And then what's 5? C7. And that takes us nicely to the key of F. So this second ending goes like this. Do you hear how the melody goes up and the chords feel like they're going to a new tonal center? Because now we are going to the key of F major. For a deeper dive into creating and playing beautiful melodies, you can check out our many courses at pianowithjohnny.com. Step number 6 is to create a new melody and harmony, because now we're at the B section, or the bridge. And so we're in the key of F major now. This is the new tonal center. And so I came up with a short melodic phrase in the key of F major that goes like this, which is just diatonic in the key of F major, isn't it? But then I feel like after you've played a melodic phrase like that, it's nice to change it the second time but keep that same rhythm. So I chose an F minor chord and the melody to go like this. And then a B flat 7 chord, which fits very nicely. So we have a major chord and then an F minor chord to a B flat 7. Isn't that beautiful? And then we need to finish this first part, because again, this is a 4-bar phrase. And so I wanted to go somewhere different again. So I chose a melody that goes like this. Da, 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 da. Again, the first part of this bridge, the melody is going down. You see that? Because it sounds unresolved. And I just chose these chords here because it's almost like taking us back to that A minor, right? That we started off in that A section. And now though, it wants to get back to this F major. So how do I get from A minor to F major? Here's a cool trick. If we go around the circle of fifths from A minor, we'd have A minor, D7, G minor 7, C7, which then takes us to F. Isn't that cool? But what I did here is I just used a tritone substitution of D7, then I went to the 2 chord of F, and then rather than the C7, I did a tritone of C7, which is G flat, that then takes us back to F. It's a really cool trick, and also the bass is going down chromatically. Listen to this. Nice, right? So this bridge, the first part of the bridge goes. And now we're ready for the second half of the bridge. Step number 7 is to repeat the first part of the bridge in terms of the melody, which is this. But now we want to shift to a new tonal center, and this is a really cool transpositional tool. Do you remember how before when we went the F minor to the B flat 7, but then went to this A minor chord? Here we're actually going to go to the key of E flat major. Now that's a really cool trick, isn't it? It also kind of sounds like, whoa, where are we? We just went from the key of F major to the key of E flat major. Now what is E flat major in the key of C? It doesn't fit, right? But it does, in that it's a very typical transposition to go from, if you're in a major key, to go up a minor third. And I'll show you how we're going to get back from this E flat to the key of C major. So again, we go F major 7. Now it's the same rhythm, but notice the melody is also higher, and now we're transitioning to the key of E flat major. And then the last 2 bars of the melody of the bridge, we're going to be in the key of E flat major. So we go. But now we have to figure out how to get back to the key of C. Well, whenever we're trying to get back to a 1 chord, a great thing to do is to put a 5 chord in front of that. So in the key of C major, G is 5. But we're in the key of E flat major now, so how do we get back to the key of C? here's a cool trick. We went da, da, da. I went to the 4 chord in the key of E flat, which is A flat, and that's a half step away from the 5 chord, the G7. Do you hear that? And then we resolve it. And now we're back to the key of C major. So the whole bridge goes like this. F major, this is the second half. Now we go to the key of E flat major, A flat major, which is 4, and then finally to the 5 chord in the key of C major. And now we're ready to hear that last A section. Step number 8 is to repeat the same material that we just used from the first A section in the last A section, because this is an A-A-B-A song. And so whenever you have A sections, they're usually very similar. And so the cool thing about composing an A-A-B-A form song is that once you have the A material, you're going to use that again, because again, it's an A-A-B-A form, and the A sections are very similar. So we're going to start off exactly the same as we did in the first A section. Melody and chords exactly the same. And we do the same thing again for the next 4 measures. Okay, so we do the same exact melody and chords. But now we're ready to hear something new, and that comes up in step number 9. Step number 9 is to change the last part of the melody to end on the tonic. And what is the tonic? In the key of C major, the tonic is C. And so we have to find a way to bring the melody back to resolve on C, because then it sounds final. And this is the last 2 measures of the song. And so we just went da 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 da, right? Now we have to figure out how to just end the song in 2 measures. And we're here at the C, and it's an A minor chord. And so one way from the chords to get back to the key of C major, similar to what we did before, is you're going to go 6, 2, which is D7, to the 5 chord, which then brings us to the 1 chord, which is C6. And the melody, ba, 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 and then I went T, Do, that's called the leading tone, the B natural, or 7 to 8. Leading tone to the tonic. So the last 2 measures go. And then we go back to the top of the song. So that is the whole AABA, how you compose a melody and the chords and keeping it in this nice AABA form. Step number 10, we're going to finally play this whole arrangement of this new melody that we just composed. Step 10 is to finally put all of these components together in this AABA form. And so we start off with our melody, our first A section. Then the first ending, which then brings us back to the second A section. Now the second time we take the second ending with our transition chords bringing us to the key of F major. Now we go to the bridge and we're in the key of F major, and we have our F minor to B flat 7, back to A minor, and then we go around the circle bringing us back to F major again. But now we're going to go to the key of E flat major. Remember this? E flat to the 4 chord that brings us to G13, sus to G13, and our last A section again, which is the same material as the first. And then we just have to figure out a way to get back. Remember this? The very last 2 measures, going to the leading tone, back to the 1 chord. Beautiful, right? Let's try this now with a track and play the whole thing down. All right, so we're finally going to play this with the track. You're going to have bass and drums. We're going to play the AABA. If you'd like to, you can just play your right hand melody, or you can play left hand chords as well with the right hand melody. We're going to play it all the way through AABA, and you can end on a C major chord if you like at the very end. All right, have fun. Here we go. Second ending. Bridge. Going around the circle. Going to the key of E flat major. Last A section. And we can end on a C major. Beautiful. Thanks again for attending today's quick tip on how to compose a melody, the 10-step guide. I hope you really enjoyed yourself and learned a lot. I know I had a great time working with you, and I look forward to seeing you in another quick tip real soon, all right? Take care, everyone. So long.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the lesson, please let me know in the comments. Also, be sure to check out pianowithjohnny.com. We have over 1,000 step-by-step lessons for all playing levels where you'll learn your favorite songs, styles, and how to improvise at the piano. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.